This video is going to be a little bit different, just the way we're starting it off here. I'm going to be upgrading Davinci Resolve 16.2.7 to Davinci Resolve 17 beta. Normally you would follow the exact same guide that I've already made on how to install Davinci Resolve 16 on Debian flavors of Linux. However, this one's going to be a little bit different. So I'm just going to show you here that Davinci Resolve, go to About Davinci Resolve, and you can see that we are on version 16.2.7, and we're going to be upgrading. The first thing that I want to get into is just thanking everyone who has subscribed to the channel and has been keeping this going active. You notice lately that I've been posting a lot of videos, and as a result of that, I have finally bought Davinci Resolve Studio. It's because of the YouTube ad revenue that I've been getting. Now, to put this into perspective, this isn't like a career status level of revenue. I'm not allowed to say anything about how much I make on YouTube. It's part of the ad policy, but basically I'll put it this way. For the amount of money that I make in an entire month of YouTube videos and the ad revenue, I make more than that in one day going to work. So needless to say that I'm not making a fortune here, but with how fast the subscribers have been going up, the view count has been going up, there's still roughly 90% of my views, a little bit over 90% of my views are people who aren't subscribed. So like, it'd be really cool if you did subscribe to the channel. When you purchase Davinci Resolve Studio, it doesn't matter which version, you get a license for unlimited future updates. So I'm not only going to be upgrading to Davinci Resolve 17 Beta 4, but I'm also going to be upgrading to the Studio version. And the install is a little bit different on that, so I'm just going to get into this. So I'm going to try and vocalize the difference between upgrading from Davinci Resolve 16 to 17 versus going from 16 to Studio 16 or Studio 17, because that is a little bit different because it's technically a completely different program. I just wanted to kind of show you a little thing here. This is what's in it. So you get Davinci Resolve Studio, a little paper thing. It says for Mac, Windows, and Linux because it's just a product key. And right here we have a little SD card which has software on it. So on this little SD card is going to be the software and the manual for Davinci Resolve 16 for any of those three operating systems. And then this right here, this little credit card looking thing, this is the product key. Now, I'm not going to show you the back because it obviously has my product key on it, but that's it. The product key, this little envelope, and the software on an SD card. I just thought that was a really interesting way to actually distribute their software. I've never seen anything like that before. Now, as part of this purchase, and why I directed towards this primarily, was one, YouTube is a huge hobby of mine, but two, I was on the fence as to whether or not I wanted to buy the signature edition of FL Studio or Davinci Resolve, because they were both right around the same ballpark for like all of those Black Friday sales that were happening like weeks early. But this one here ended up coming with the Davinci Resolve Speed Editor. So I figured, why not? I might as well go with this. I'll wait for like a Boxing Day sale or something for the signature edition of FL Studio, if there's something like that. But this was definitely a good purchase on my part because the price of the Speed Editor is actually more than a full license of Davinci Resolve Studio. So if this thing ends up sucking and it's just junk, because I do all of my shortcuts and everything on a normal keyboard anyway, so I basically have to learn a whole new layout for this, and because I'm only doing editing and not to like a full Hollywood level where something with this many shortcuts would be usable, at least in my current state and time. If I don't end up using this, then I could probably sell it and recoup most of my money and end up buying the signature bundle of FL Studio and have essentially both of the software licenses that I wanted, purely with the ad revenue that I've gotten from YouTube this year. Yes, it's the end of the year, and you know, I can't say how much I made, but I'm pretty sure you can do the math to know exactly how much Davinci Resolve cost. And then just to show you what it actually looks like here, I opened it up, so that's the Speed Editor. Clicky buttons. And this dial right here is weighted, so it spins really well. And then it's, I guess it's on a bearing because it spins very freely. So the quality of this thing is astounding. It is a plastic bottom, but the top is metal. It's extremely heavy, and my favorite part is it's powered over USB-C. which once more things start using USB-C, that's going to be the cable for everything. We're not going to need anything else at that point. But that's not what we're getting into today. I'm going to show you how we're going to be going from Davinci Resolve 16.2.7 on Linux. We're currently running Pop! OS, and we're going to be upgrading to Davinci Resolve 17 beta, but also converting over to the Studio version. So the install for this is a little bit different, but to start, I'm just going to show you how to actually make this, and the download is even a little bit different. So we go to Linux here, and now we're going to enter all the information and everything just like we normally would, but then over here we have Davinci Resolve Studio, and we have to enter the serial number on the back of this little card that we got. And we can't download it until we do that to make sure that we actually have a copy that we're allowed to download. So that's the first step that we have to do. I already have it downloaded, so I'm going to skip this. But that's essentially what you would do, is there's an extra step where you have to enter a serial number and then download, and everything's good. And then we're going to, again, use make resolve deb, except now it has a new version, which is a lot simpler to do because you can use the same command for both the regular version and the free version. So this is version 1.4.1, and that's what we're going to be using. And again, I already have this downloaded. So right here in this folder that I've made, Davinci Resolve 17b4 for beta 4, these are the two files that we have. Literally all we need to do is just extract these. So there we go. That one's still going, so I'm going to open a terminal. So just right click and then open terminal. And now we're already in this directory here. This is probably one of the easiest things now that the way this is set up. All we're going to be typing in is // and then we need the name of this file here. So I'm just pushing F2 to rename, and then I can just quickly copy this. I'm going to select the whole thing, copy, and paste that in there. So that's it. Space. And now we just got to get this file name right here, which is the run file out of the Davinci Resolve zip file that we downloaded. So I'm just going to copy that, paste, done, enter. It's now making the deb file that we need for Davinci Resolve. So we're just going to sit back and wait for that to finish up, and just like Davinci Resolve 16, like I said in the last video, you may think that it froze, but it just takes a long time. Like, this is an i9 9900K, 32 gigs of RAM, 3 NVMEs in RAID 0. This is by no means a pushover computer, and even this takes a fair amount of time to create this package. Okay, so that's finally done. Now to install this, it's just like the other one. So we're just typing in sudo dpkg space -i, so that's going to be for install, and then we're just going to do the file name of the deb file that was just created. Now when I hit enter, this should fail because Davinci Resolve is still installed, and it's not going to be able to upgrade a regular version of Davinci Resolve to the Studio version. You have to completely remove it and then install it. At this point right here, everything is going to be exactly the same if you're going from 16.2.7 or whatever and you're upgrading to 17. So we're going to type this command in here, and that's going to be the script that you're going to be running. This right here is just going to be the name of the run file that you downloaded. So if you downloaded the free version, then this is just going to be the regular one for the free version. Everything is going to work out exactly the same. Now the only difference is when we're typing this in here, if you're going from the free version of 16 to the free version of 17, as soon as we hit enter, that's just going to install right over top, and you're not going to have any issues at all, and it's going to be completely fine. It's a seamless upgrade. But because we're doing this one here, I'll just show you really quick. You can see here that it says conflicting packages not installing Davinci Resolve Studio, and errors were encountered while processing, and then it shows the name of the deb file that we have here. So this is saying that we can't install this because there's already Davinci Resolve right here. So it says that Davinci Resolve Studio conflicts with Davinci Resolve. So we have to remove Davinci Resolve first before we can do this. Now this is a Studio only issue. Again, if you're going from the free version to the free version, it's just going to install right over top. You're not going to have any issues. And to remove Davinci Resolve 16 or Davinci Resolve 17 or any other version, to remove it from Linux, there's two, potentially three steps that you're going to have to do here. So the first one is going to be sudo rm-f space -r, and then we're going to do a /opt/resolve. Okay, so that's done, so it's removed that folder. Now next we're going to do sudo rm space /usr for user /share /applications /Davinci hyphen or dash resolve.desktop. And we're going to hit enter there. So now that's removed that directory. I've noticed in other instances that I was playing with, because I always test everything before I try to make these videos, so I know the workaround of everything. When I was removing Davinci Resolve 17, this second command here doesn't do anything because the directory doesn't exist. So this right here seems to be specific to Davinci Resolve 16 and earlier. 17, I guess it gets rid of this, or my install was just messed up. But either way, it's always good to try because, you know, if it doesn't work, you're just going to get an error saying it doesn't work. And if it does work, then there is a directory there that we got rid of. Now the last one that we're going to be doing is sudo apt purge and then Davinci Resolve, because we can see up here that Davinci Resolve Studio conflicts with Davinci Resolve. So that's the actual name of the package. So we got to type it in just like that. So Davinci-Resolve. And then we're going to do a space, a dash, and a Y. So that way it'll automatically say yes to the next command. So there we go. So now it has completely removed Davinci Resolve from here. So now we can just go back through our commands, right back to sudo dpkg-I, and then the name of the dead file that we just created for Davinci Resolve Studio 17 Beta 4, and we just hit enter, and this should start installing just fine, and everything seems to be going well. So now we just have to sit back and wait, and it's going to install Davinci Resolve Studio 17 Beta 4. That's done. So now we can just exit this, we can close this, and now we can snap to the top here, look for Davinci Resolve. I'm going to add that to my favorites here on the side, drag that up to where it goes. And now we can launch Davinci Resolve 17 Beta 4, and for the Studio version, I now have to enter my product key. So right here, classic, just like 16, comes up, except I have to enter an activation key. So I'm going to type that in now. Okay, and now I can activate this, and now Davinci Resolve Studio has been activated. Now, one thing I want to note here is when you buy Studio, you get 2 full copies, and I have the other one activated on my laptop. So once I get a more reliable cloud solution set up, because right now I'm using Google Drive, which is fine, it's just expensive, or at least it gets expensive. So I kind of want to venture into building my own cloud with Nextcloud, which was the creator of OwnCloud. I don't know, that's a whole other story that we're going to get into. But I want to build a Nextcloud to move all of my projects over to. So I can sync between this computer here for doing all of the rendering, and then wherever I am, I can just pick up on the project files right from where I left off on my laptop. And as I finish those project files, I can just save them directly to Nextcloud, and then I just show up at the computer, I open the file, I render it, and everything's done. They can just go straight to YouTube. And as you've seen, I've been releasing videos almost every second day because of how much this program has sped up my workflow, as well as having H.264 supports integrated into it, because I don't have to transcode all of my footage to ProRes first. I'm also saving tons of storage space because I don't have to transcode everything to ProRes before I actually edit it, which not only makes the ingestion process a lot faster, but it also makes the encoding process a lot faster because the files are significantly smaller that it has to encode into the final output. So now we can just start Davinci Resolve. Now here's where we can pick the database. So we can take the existing one. I've completely removed everything. This was just for an example, so there's actually nothing in here. So I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to upgrade this one. I'm actually going to disconnect that one entirely. Just open a new project, and now we are back into the existing database that I had going before reversing everything to make this video. You can see here at the top, Davinci Resolve. We're going to go to About Davinci Resolve, and I now have Davinci Resolve Studio 17. So now, again, I just wanted to thank everybody who's been here on the channel watching these stupid educational videos about computer nonsense. Davinci Resolve Studio is completely on you guys. The huge increase in productivity that I've had is entirely on you guys. And this right here is a personal milestone for me because this is showing that YouTube can become something viable if I actually put the work into it. So like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it, comment something down below. And like I said, over 90% of my views don't come from people who are subscribed, so it would be really cool if you subscribe to the channel, but like always, I'm not telling you what to do.